Evening, everybody. Hope you're well. Hello, Paris. How's things? How you doing? I suppose most people have seen the ch4 documentary. Just from my perspective, I've never been particularly interested in following the case, but it's something that I've heard about since being involved with this side of YouTube. And after watching that all the way through, this isn't going to go away. I was a bit surprised that only apparently, according to what I understood, just 4 of the mothers were instrumental in taking this to court. But it took a long time to get there. Firstly, let me just say thanks for everybody for coming in tonight. I did put it back from 10 o'clock, so I didn't realise that the documentary actually went on for 1.5 hours rather than just the hour. Excuse me. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to sort of see what everybody else thought about it, really. It was a difficult watch for me. I didn't feel comfortable about it at all. I don't know. I think the overlying thing for me was that this isn't going to go away. But the good thing is, I think the youngsters that were involved are probably going to be of an age where they may well have some sort of legal redress for all the unpleasantness that they've had to endure. But that's something that them and their families will have to go through. But it's it was a very difficult watch. Yeah, I just find it difficult that the accusations that were made. If you don't believe us, you're going to be called a satanic paedophile, which is pretty much what a lot of people are doing on this side right now. The topic, Paris, was one of the topics really was the ch4 documentary tonight about the hoax case. It was on for an hour and a half. But I don't think, to be honest, that 1.5 hours was anywhere near enough to cover some of the complex issues that were brought to the front. I think those families that were caught up in it were sort of powerless to be able to do anything. And the police, I think the police said at one time that there was no law for that sort of complex problem. When you get accused of that sort of thing, it's difficult to disprove it, isn't it? It's like if I was to say to somebody, you're this or you're that, how do you get over the fact that they're not? And somebody else then, I think the families must have gone through absolute hell for years, and they're still going through it now, probably. I just found it very difficult to watch, to be perfectly honest. I don't know. One or two faces that I was aware of in the documentary. I'm not naming people, but usual suspects, I suppose. But I think the lady that was involved with it, I mean, this is my honest opinion, is whether you do or you don't believe what happened. As far as I'm concerned, my belief is that once it goes to a court of law and it's decided, that for me is it. And unless there's evidence there to overturn that, then it's in law. And, I think the family should be just left alone. But like I say, at the end, the person that was putting out a lot of the information was sort of totally wouldn't take any responsibility for it. There was, I did hear yesterday that a lot of the police interviews with the children were distributed by that lady that was convicted, and those tapes apparently were played on another channel yesterday. Now that lady that put those out initially was jailed for 9 years, for that, and not just that, but breaching a court order. But it was played on another channel yesterday, completely. There was no. It should have been blurred, the kids, but it's just absolute madness. Madness. I just find it very difficult, really, to understand when people get so obsessive. Those people that would disagree would say that I'm obsessive because I don't believe, and it's going to be, you either believe one side or the other. Once it goes to court, the court decides what's the truth, and the court decided that the children were telling the truth, that they were abused, to tell lies by the stepfather, whoever it was, and towards the end they retracted everything. I know they're only children, but as there must be, I don't know how long ago that was, but now that they're able to be of an age where they can say definitely that was, it was lies, to be told, and they can put the record straight for themselves. But for the torment that I saw in those ladies that were the mothers, it was, how could you deal with that for all those years before anybody would do something about it? I just don't know. I think one of the comments that really summed it up was one of the ladies on there said, we're dealing with the, like the witch hunt people in the olden times, now dealing with that on the internet. When you get these accusations that are made, it's difficult to disprove it, isn't it? But I would have thought that, when you get involved with all these allegations, that the police would have looked into this specifically with all their forensic people, and if the kids are saying that all these things were done to other children, and the police would have been able to have gone straight in there and said there's no evidence of any of this. But yeah, it was an awful watch. What I took out of it was that there was an awful lot more that may have put a bit more meat on the bones. But as a general quick whip around as to the background of it, then yeah, it was enough just to make me cringe a little bit, to think those poor families have gone through all that stuff, and a lot of innocent people were dragged into it, and I just, yeah, I'm hoping that those families are now getting peace, and the children are growing up. And sorry if the music's a bit loud, just bear with me 1 second. Hopefully that's a bit better. Yeah, I just put it on a bit lower. But like I say, for me, looking at what was on tonight, once anything goes to court, then the court decides, they've got more access to the truth than I've got as a, just by an observer. And if you don't go by what the court says, then where do you go? I don't know. It was just, for me, it was just a tough watch. just a tough watch. Not sure what the families now are living through, but I'm hoping that he would have settled down for them. And the children now, they're not children anymore, are they? I'm not sure how many years ago it was, but they should be of an age now where they can speak for themselves. Yeah, tough watch. Not sure if anybody else watched that tonight. To be honest with you, this is the first time I've actually watched anything on the TV, probably for about 5 years. If I hadn't have watched it tonight, I would have certainly watched it tomorrow on the catch up somewhere. But the two sides of the people that are either for or against, they're going to stay firmly on the same side. Like I say, I totally believe in the justice system, and once it goes to court, the court find that the children were telling the truth because they were, I think the judgment was they were tortured into saying things or something like that. I forget what the exact wording was. And likewise, when the judge decreed that it was all a hoax, looking back through it, it seems, from what I take of it, is that the mother wanted the children, and she came up with this elaborate hoax to tarnish the family so that she could get the children. But at the last part of the documentary, there was another revelation that the father, who is with the original mother, had a history of this sort of thing with other people, with her children, and it just goes to show that when these things do come about, it's very frightening when you can really get involved with pardon me, when you get involved with all these allegations that are difficult to prove or disprove, I think it took 8 years for it to get to court. 8 years. Can you imagine that, living under the shadow of that for 8 years? 8 years. Just unbelievable, really. But like I say, I don't think this is going to go away. I think it's. I think it reinforces the commitment from the mothers, and excuse me, it just justifies what they've had to go through, and I think the justice system has made a choice, whether it's right or wrong. They have made a choice, and which was obviously based on the evidence that was put before them. So I'm quite happy to, once the court makes a decision, then, until somebody comes up with some more evidence to overturn that, then I have to sort of say that fair play to the mothers for sticking with it. And but for the people that were involved with it, they were obsessive, as much as the mothers were obsessive to try to prove their innocence, whereas the other people were obsessive to try and prove the children were telling the truth, and the families were being included in all these satanic things. But it took 8 years for this to come to a head and get sorted. Why on earth it took that long is beyond me. It really is. But fair play to the mothers. Fair play to the mothers. And the families, of course, and the children. Let's not forget the children in all of this. I think they said that there were 75 families that were involved in all these accusations. you know. I think what the problem was, once a lot of this information was released, someone else was getting all the names and addresses of the school families, children, and where the families lived, and they uploaded all of this onto the internet. And then you started to get all these paedophile hunters, and this chappie from the States came over, and he said, I'll come over and I'll kick your doors down, and I'll take the blood of your children, and we'll check to make sure you're not drugging them. Yet when he got I think he got 9 months in prison, and he was sort of laughing. Yeah, I didn't really mean it. I didn't mean it. But when you say to somebody, I'm going to come and kick your door down, you've got to take responsibility sometimes for what you want. All the time. If you're going to say that, you're going to take blood and knock somebody's door down, then, yeah. Evening, everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I'm not keeping up to it. Much my apologies. But I'm just a one-man band here. I haven't got teams of people. So apologies. So it's quite a serious subject, isn't it? But like I say, I don't think it really got right down into the crux of things with regards to what was involved and who was involved. But for that 1.5 hours, I don't think it was anywhere near as much. I think it could have probably been about another 4 or 5 episodes of that to bring it forward. But the woman at the end, Sabine McNeil, she was sort of totally unrepentant about, and when she got asked questions that she was put on the spot with, she said, I can't deal with it, but she was the one that was responsible for all of the information coming forward, according to what I saw this evening anyway. But yeah, you see how easy it is to make a few accusations and people run with it, and it's not a good. Don't know if anybody else watched it this evening, and yeah. Thanks for everybody for dropping by tonight. It was I was going to do this at 10 o'clock, but like I say, the documentary I looked up and it was running till 10:30, so I did put it back. I was going to talk about a few other bits and pieces tonight instead, but I'll leave that for another time. But it'd be interesting to see if anybody else watched it and what they thought about it. I'm not going to have anybody up on the panel for obvious reasons. Firstly, I'm not overly familiar with it too much, how to do that. I can do it, but I'm a bit slow when it comes to keeping out the porn bombers. And there's a couple of people that are very good at doing that. So until I get more proficient at getting guests on, unfortunately, I won't be trying that until I get a bit more proficient. But I do apologise for monologuing too much tonight. But I'm just going back through. Thanks, Shoots. Thanks for coming in. Charlie's girl, nice to see you. Miss Mo, hello. Paris, always welcome. You know that, Paris, long-term friend of the channel. Well done. Just going through. Sorry to making sure I don't miss anybody. If I do miss anybody, please forgive me. Mandy Marlins, thank you for coming in. Elsie, hello. Haven't seen you for a while. Haven't seen you about for a while. Good Good evening to everybody. Good to see you all. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what transpires, whether there's any more feedback that will filter through to the internet. But like I say, one of the ladies on there, the mothers, did say that she felt that it was going back through the Middle Ages, where you get all these witchfinder people that you can't deal with. But it's all this is now being done on the internet. You're welcome here too, Toots, always a friend of the channel. Everybody's welcome, pretty much. It's nice to get a nice friendly chat rather than the usual to and fro and all that jazz. So, welcome. Thanks for everybody for coming in. But perhaps in a little while, when I do get a little bit more proficient with using StreamYard, then we'll get people up. I'm sure people are. Hopefully, when you do get people that want to, come up, and there's always going to be opposing views. But I've gone into this I looked at that tonight. I've had my mind was made up because of the court case that had gone on before and was already made. And that justified it to me tonight, that once the court says it's definitely this or this, guilty or innocent, then as far as I'm concerned, that is the end of it until other evidence comes forward to, to change the court's view. Yeah. Well, like I say, I think the thing that I came out of this with tonight was this just isn't going to go away. And I think it just reinforces people one way or the other. And as it wrapped up, the show wrapped up, the most damning part of it was the Sabine McNeil's reluctance to accept circumstances, and likewise the father or the man that's with the original mother. It was they sort of made that he's been involved with doing these things before, which even surprised the mothers, because even the mothers didn't know about it apparently. But there we are. So, just moving forward on a little bit of a lighter note. I'm sure we will drift in and out of this during the course of whenever we stay on this tonight. I see the mouse bowed out last night. Thanks, Mouse, for all of your contributions, and you've helped me a few times. So thanks for that. And one of the nice things you did say about yesterday, and all those comments did get deleted. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep a straight face here. You did say that I only kept my spanner because I was always polite. Oh dear me, that was funny. I did laugh at that. So it is a big. I did come on for a giggle, really. It just goes to show that you can have these streams that aren't controversial. But like I say, you're always going to get arguments, and you're going to get people that love doing this sort of stuff just for the arguments. But it is an alternative view, and my view is once the court decides that the verdict, then that's it for me. Yeah, that's very true there, Toots. I knew very little about this hoax. In fact, the only reason I've heard more and more about it is from what I picked up on the internet or on YouTube. Not that I was particularly interested in it, but it was been an underlying thing that it gets mentioned and brought up all the time. And I'm glad that documentary was on tonight. But like I say, I think they tried to get an awful lot of information in there, but it could have been 2 or 3 more of those. A couple of evenings, I think, would have been worthy of another couple of hours. But some of the obsessive people that were involved, especially the guy from the States, he came across when he went to prison for 9 months. When they confronted him, he just said, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it." Well, I think if you're threatening somebody to come to their door and take blood from, take their blood, why wouldn't you feel abused? And it's awkward, difficult, and for all of that abuse that those parents and children went through must be terribly well, it can't have been anything less than upsetting and destructive for their family lives. I'm just hoping they're all healing now, but hello, baby cakes. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. I was I was looking through. Like I say, I wasn't looking to get any information about this posted thing from the internet because it was something that it wasn't something I would normally be interested in. But that's tonight. It certainly brought home for me that it was. It's not going to bring two parties together, is it? Those people that one way are still going to be the same. Likewise, those people that believe the children are going to stay the same. So there's going to be no middle ground, is there? I don't think it's ever going to heal, Yeah, I don't know. Tough one, isn't it? Well done to Channel 4, though, for putting it together. It was quite well done. I was very impressed with that. A few other things over the weekend that's come to light was that one of my previous channels I used to go on to, Matthew, as apparently I was looking through last night and I understood that he's received some sort of court order. I don't know anything about it, but before the Mouse channel went down, he showed a video that Matt was told to stop doing things on the internet. And I don't know how it was reported that Briscoe apparently had put up to say that he had received a stalking prevention order. Now, I'm not sure about that. I've got no... but however he found that out, it's just beyond me. But I suppose you'll have to wait and see what develops in that front. But, yeah, difficult one. And another thing is that apparently one of our other recently... well, the thing is, Mandy, when you continually get written about, spoken about, and one of the things that Harry did Harry did a program the other night, and the comments from Matt was, "I don't want you to use my stuff. I'll give you a strike." but Matt was using my stuff. I just let it go. And I just couldn't be bothered in the end. But there you go. That's the end of it as far as I'm concerned. I don't like the drama. Yeah, you either walk away from it or you get involved. You dig yourself a hole, and then before you know it, you've got a stalking prevention order, or whatever it's called. And when you continually get knocks at the door, and the causes from what comes out of your mouth, then who's to blame? But the thing is tonight is that it was the hosted case. And it was a difficult watch for me to find out a little bit more about, a lot more about what was involved. I think the families went through hell, really, to be honest, Yeah, I was Paris. I held my hands up there. One of the videos that was on, I think it was on the Mouse's channel when that was on. I can remember watching that at home, and I'm thinking, I did say to Matt, you should stop drinking when you go on drunk. And I was watching that, and I just thought that was the one that made me decide not to be involved anymore. And that was best part of, I don't know, 20 months ago, 2 years, something like that. And the only comment I put on Matthew's channel since I stepped away was on his feed when he said his goodbye. And I said something of the region of, hope your decision brings you peace. And that's the only time I've been in touch with him. And I don't need to be in touch with him anymore. And that's it. That's it, really. But we all make choices. And, I'm just glad that I stepped away. And, it is what it is. But for those that go to Matt, I hope you enjoy it. I've got nothing bad to say about anybody that goes to where they want to go to. I've got no ill feelings toward Matthew at all. Just that when I stepped away. But I still get mentioned even now after 2 years, and yeah. But my name will drop off of his list, I'm sure, and somebody else would come along, I suppose. But it is what it is. Yeah, I used to be a moderator on that channel. So here we are. It's an interesting evening with regards to the Hampstead case. Like I say, the mouse has decided to step away. I didn't realise just how many there were, but a lot of the comments and contents of the stream last night were removed. So anybody that watched it didn't get the gist of, what was said and the feeling of it was of that. So, like I say, I've got I've watched. I got some abuse from the mouse. I did. I got some I got some abuse as well. Lots of other people did, but you know, you your goodness comes through in the end, I think. Whatever goodness is, but you know, I enjoyed it. I used to enjoy listening to the Mouse's channel because quite a lot of the time, when you listen to them or watch some of the Mouse's stuff, it was a glimpse. You know, they cut out bits and bobs of a long stream that was boring. So you know, it was a little bit of a catch up for me, and I think that used to annoy Matthew because he made a point of saying that I only watch his stuff through the Mouse. Well, I did. I didn't watch his stuff. Still don't watch his stuff. I don't know what he's on about. I'm not interested. And you know, it's, you know, you just have to accept it's a bit like the show tonight. You're going to be diametrically opposite to other people, like the people on both sides of this hoaxed case. Not everybody's going to like somebody's story. Somebody's not going to like coming here. If I don't want to go somewhere, I don't have to go there, you know, and it's likewise for everybody else. You know, so anyway, like I say, thanks for coming by, everybody. It's been a bit of an evening and a Monday fun day. I haven't heard anybody in the chat saying that they disagree with the program, and you know, like I say, for me, it was a difficult one for me to watch. I'm just going to get myself a glass of water. I hope everybody in the chat can behave. Just give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back. I'm sitting in a leather chair, so if you hear any squeaky noises, that's all it is. It's not me. So bear with me a second. I won't be a minute. All right, back again. I'm not going to stay too much longer. I've got to tomorrow is my day down at the shooting range, and it's my turn to unlock. We've got some new people coming in tomorrow, and Miss Marlins, you're back with us. Thank you for staying. So Paris, are you still at the house, or are you back on your boat yet? Oh, Paris, by the way, one thing I forgot to tell you when we were talking about computers the other week, I forgot to mention, and do forgive me for this. Not sure if you've decided on a computer yet, but when I was looking at getting a new laptop about a year ago, and I ended up with the one I'm using now, they do Wednesdays is their day that they change prices. So if you've got your eye on a particular model, it's always worth looking on a Wednesday, because that's the day that PC World, or Currys now, isn't it? They change their prices every Wednesday. Oh, good to see, Paris. Good to see. Oh, nice one. I'm glad you got one, Paris. Did you get did you get something suitable for your needs? Hopefully, it'll be one that's ideal. If you're just looking for a bit of browsing and emails, then you just want a low spec one. But if you're looking for what you used to do, and that it's you really need a bit more RAM and that. Yeah, baby cakes. If you want to come to Dorset, this is a lovely place. I went to Muddyford last week, and I've been lucky enough this year. I've been out 3 times. Once I went to Swanage, I think it was in January, and then February I went to last month I went to Weymouth, and last week I went to Muddyford. And those 3 days were probably the best sunny days this year. So yeah, Monkey World is good. I've been there a few times. I used to live quite close to Monkey World. But there's so many beauty spots down here that unless you look on the internet, and you can find, doesn't matter where you look, not only in Dorset but all over the country. There's people doing blogs like I do. Sometimes I just go out and take my camera. But I must say that when I did the last trip to Mudderford, I took my little camera with me, my DJI, and I had a few films on the camera, but I disregarded the camera films, and I put there was 4 bits I put together. Now that video, I think it was about 18 minutes all in all, but it took me about 2 hours to edit it. And I put some photographs in between each, and I just uploaded it, put it on a Premiere. It's been well received, and there's been quite a few hundred views on it. But what I did find was that after about the first time I watched it, there was a 7-second part of black screen. So I had to go into the editor on YouTube and cut that out. And I was quite pleased that I actually got onto the YouTube editor and edit a 7-second black screen out, which it went up, and I was pleased with that. So well done to me for getting involved with the editor on YouTube on an uploaded stream. lots of other places to go to, Baby Cakes. There's, like I say, I go to Wareham quite regularly. There's Dorchester. Wimborne is nice. Yeah, I've got a Canon mirrorless camera, and I bought the DJI Pocket 3, and that outperforms my Canon in every way apart from one, which is the zoom. And I've got my mirrorless cameras in the bag. I've got 6 lenses with it, and it's just going to sit there. I'll probably end up putting it on eBay. I've got I bought, I think it's a 600 to, was it 800 to 1600 zoom lens with a ×2 converter, and you can see the craters of the moon on that. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the New Forest is good. There's a couple of food reviews I did in the New Forest. 3 tons was one, and what's the other one? I forget the other one, but there's some just lovely village pubs, lovely places to come in Dorset, and most villages of counties have got places to go that are similar. But the nice thing about being here is that you've got the seafront and the sea and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's some good cameras out there, some really nice ones. Yeah, but it all comes down to practicality and usability, and at the end of the day, it's what do you need your cameras for? If you're a professional photographer, then you're going to need, a nice kit full of stuff. Most of what I used my camera for was, just for. I didn't realise at the time that the DJI was about, but since I've got it, I've got a couple of radio mics as well with it, and it just makes it so much easier just to switch the camera on, and it just links up automatically, and I think I went to Weymouth as well the other week. I can't remember. I think it was Weymouth. Yeah. I think the travel videos seem to be doing a lot better than these sort of lives. Like I say, thanks everybody for coming back or coming in again, and nice to see a few people that I haven't seen about for a while. Hopefully everybody's okay, and getting on, which is the most important thing, rather than arguing all the time. There are other channels for that, and there are some channels that thrive on it. I'm not going to say the ones that we all know probably, but I don't know about when everybody else goes on or listens to. I like to go on to Taffy. I think it's Taffy 46. I do enjoy Taffy, and the other one is Luke. But it's starting to get when you get 2 or 3 or 4 people on the panel, maybe more than that, and you get more than 1 or 2 talking at the same time. It's just like in a bar. You just can't hear one, So it's difficult, but it would be easier if you get one or two people. You could control it. It would. I would prefer to have had, a panel, but you've got to be so careful. When you do put, when you look back at the history of what you put out, and I would encourage anybody or everybody that's listening that doesn't put stuff out is to think about doing something, because you put back something in. We all like to listen to stuff. Quite a lot of the stuff I listen to, I take my tablet when I go to bed, and I just flick it on, and it just pretty much plays all the way through the evening. And someone going on in the background, but I don't really like to listen to people arguing. It's just a noise. Yeah, I do enjoy taking photos. The DJI's, I don't know if you've seen it. It's a tiny little camera. It goes in my top pocket. And I'll be taking that. I'm going to France later this week, and I'll tell a story about that. For the cost of the day trip to France, to be honest, I'm only going over to buy my favourite French wine. I bought one bottle back with me last year for my birthday, but this year I'm going to buy 3 bottles of my favourite French wine, and that will save me enough, believe it or not, for me to pay for the trip to France. So I'll come back with 3 bottles of wine, and it works out the same. I've got a free trip to France for the day. So that's got to be a plus. Favorite wine, by the way, I did put it up. I think I went to France in May of last year, and I was sat in a corner bar, and I had the bottle of wine on the side. It was Sauternes, sweet white dessert wine, my favourite, and I'll be bringing 3 of those back with me this time. I'm not going to walk around with a crate full of it, but 3 bottles I think I could manage. That'd be good. Yeah, the good thing about DJI is I bought the Creator Combo, and it's got the extra battery in it. The extra boost. You get about 3 or 4 hours of continual use, and I put a big. I think I put a 512 gigabyte card in it, so I'll get about 30 hours of filming. But I'm going away next month. I'm in Mallorca, and then in May I'm going away again to Mallorca. That's for 2 weeks. So I've got a few things, and it's just nice to be able to, it's just nice to be able to not have a big bag full of cameras and lenses you've got to switch over, but with the little camera, you just swipe on the screen, change it, and it's done in no time. For convenience, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. So yeah, there we go. So once I get sorted out with being more familiar with the use of StreamYard to get people on, I did have one of these accounts. I did go into. I had a year. They were offering it for I think it was about £80 for a year, and I just had it for a year, and it was good. It was quite good. I got used to using it, but I never actually got round to going on onto YouTube at the time to be able to get the full benefit of it, you know. Well, the good thing about the batteries, you can just plug it into a USB and just use it, you know, continually. You keep using it, not a USB, a charger. But I'm not going to use it for 6 hours straight. But for taking 20-minute shots or, you know, little bits and pieces, then it's going to last me all day. But for just a tiny little camera, it's you know, it suits me more than having a bag full of lenses and all the rest of it. But I've had it since I think I released around about September last year, and I've been very impressed with it. And yeah, you get 4K 60 frames per second, which is, you know, it's pretty tidy. Quite happy with that. Yes, they did, Mandy. They did. Luckily, at my gun club, there's quite a few police officers that are down there. So yes, we did have a private word, so no worries about that. Anything else there, Mandy? You happy with that? I can't provide you with proof, of course, but that's as much as I can do at the moment. Yeah. So many people listen. It's just coming up to almost an hour. Like I always say, I'm quite happy to provide you with international standard drivel or Olympic standard drivel, and you know, it's tongue in cheek all this stuff for me. And Miss Marlins, I did answer your question. Yes, the police did talk to me. Yes, you're not blocked. Nobody's. Well, there are. I did unblock somebody or everybody the other night, and I'm absolutely delighted that I didn't get bothered by those that I unblocked. So, you know, I would rather unblock everybody and have them not come on, but I'm sure that they'd probably watch whatever, you know. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. But, you know, we can all do without all this to and froing and all that, can't we, I suppose? And I know some people in the chat this evening have probably had a fallout at some time or other, and you probably look back and think, well, what a load of old tosh that was. You know, we could have you know, we could have done without all the drama, all the unpleasantness that you know. And but you move on, don't you? You have to move on, move forward, leave the past where it is, and move forward. And you know. So, anybody, if there's no more probing questions, I'm going to call this a night, just over an hour. But thank you all for joining me today. I'm hoping to do a bit more of this sort of stuff. And thank you for your kind word there, Miss Marlins. Thank you for that. Charlie's girl still with us. Thank you for that. Always nice to see all the ladies coming in, and always worth popping in. I'm so grateful for everybody coming. Actually, I do, like I say, I do this for a bit of a giggle, and I'll be honest with you. Between you and me, nobody is more surprised at the amount of people that keep coming back and have subscribed. It's just gone through. It's just gone bonkers, and for talking a lot of old tosh and putting this drivel up on the internet for people to look at, listen to, and hopefully enjoy. Yes, that is true there, Miss Marlins, and more importantly, you are happy to listen to it, and thank you for your engaging support, and thank you so much. Yeah, I wouldn't go to use that. I wouldn't say that particular word, but international standard drivel, I suppose, is what I would like to call it. But your word is probably more descriptive, a better adjective. But yes, yeah, thank you all for coming in. It's been a good evening. Tinged with a bit of seriousness with the Channel 4 documentary, and I think it would have just cemented everybody's views one way or the other. I don't think there's going to be a middle ground. It's going to be either one way or the other. From my point of view, the court's made a decision. I thought the documentary tonight wasn't biased. It was totally, you look at the information and you make your own mind up. I just hope that anybody like myself who didn't know anything about, pretty much nothing about it, I know enough now to make my mind up that the court got it right. If that makes it, people come back at me and say, how do you, the courts decide, I don't decide. Yeah, the ending was, I think that was really the punchline, that, when Sabine McNeil was put on the spot by a few questions, and then crunching information was the or revelations that the man had done this to other children, which when the other mums were told, they were a bit shocked. But yeah, it was, yeah. I don't know. So I'm going to wrap this up, folks, before you get bored to death. And thanks for joining me, everybody. Nice to see a few people back in that I haven't seen for a while. So I'm going to wrap up now. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Toots, Miss Marlins, Baby Cakes, Toots. Let's go through everybody. Make sure. Charlie's girl, always welcome. Harris, of course, always welcome. I think you've probably been one of the longest supporters. I think. Well done. Elsid earlier. Going back quickly. If I've missed anybody, I do apologise. Like I say, thank you for joining me tonight. And it's nice to see people in the chat. Thank you, one and all. And yeah, it was good. They let Rupert and Sabine have their say. They confirmed how nuts they are. That's that's something that you have to draw from the information that was put in front of us tonight. But like I say, the court have decided what they decided, and that's it for me. Unless some more revelations come out that will overturn it, then I'm happy to that the courts have decided what on the evidence that they were given. That's it from my point of view. But you all have to make up your own choices, and if everybody saw what they saw tonight and were in a disagreement with the outcome, then you have to bring an argument to counteract why they were why the court got it so wrong. But yeah. Anyway, folks, thank you once again for joining me tonight, and hopefully, like I say, we can all move forward. I'm hoping to do these a bit more regular. I did say initially when I did get to 500 subs, I would do a bit more regular live streams and that. But once I get a bit more involved with StreamYard, getting people on, I will be able to do some live panels. But I need to be a bit sharper off the mark when it comes to cutting people off if they are going to show naughty bits of their bodies. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, friends and enemies, thank you for joining me tonight. Have a lovely evening, what's left of it, and we'll catch up in the next one, hopefully. And like I say, thanks for joining me tonight, and we'll catch up soon. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.